Good morning, everybody. This is Dennis Lindsay with Corcoran Global Living here this month with my good buddy Kyle Rush for Mortgage Monthly. How you doing, Kyle?
Fantastic, Dennis. How about yourself?
Good, man. Look what I got.
Oh, I love it. That's a great mug.
Yeah, they hold, I'll tell you, man, they've had ice in there for 2 days.
I love it. That's the way it should be, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. So let's get right into it. I have about 4 questions here.
Okay.
I'm just going to read them. It says, so I'm a borrower. I'm coming in to see you, and you run my credit, and it just doesn't meet the necessary requirements to get me a loan. What do we do?
Great question. So, Dennis, reality is that probably out of every 10 people I meet, 6 to 7 of them are not ready credit-wise. So this is actually something that's very common. And I think this creates a lot of anxiety in buyers when they try to figure out, do they want to go through this pre-qual process? What you really need to know with myself and my team is that we are going to take that extra effort to educate you about credit. We're going to take that effort to help return you to scores that are substantially higher that allow you to do what we're trying to do with your home loan qualification. So my team specializes in making sure that we create a roadmap to home ownership. We know that most people don't get there day one. It takes some coaching and some education. And I think education creates empowerment. And what a great way to go into a mortgage, in an educated fashion.
Okay. So do you have a program? Let's say, I've got some bad school debt that I need to clean up. Do you kind of coach them on how to?
Yeah, we get into light credit strategies, but we work with different entities that indirectly that we can always encourage a buyer to talk to that can go through credit repair, credit restructuring, kind of create some expertise advice in the credit world. But we do know enough about credit to be dangerous and to give people a lot of good information on it.
Okay, great. And then how long does this process can it take? I mean, can it be short? Is it long, or is it years?
Yeah, great question. Depends on what we're starting with, right? If I'm starting with a client who has no credit history, it's probably going to take at least 8 to 12 months to develop it. If I'm starting with somebody who's got credit history that they just haven't done anything with in years, then we could probably get it recertified in maybe 4 to 6 months. If it's somebody who's dealing with a lot of negative derogatory collections, you're probably looking at more of a 6 to 12 month timeline, depending on how many derogatory items we're trying to take care of. And one thing that's important to understand about derogatory items and specifically collections when it comes to a mortgage is that mortgage companies do not require borrowers to pay back medical debt in order to qualify. And I think medical debt is one of the biggest anxiety causers that keeps people from coming into my office. Wow. The reality is you need to know that you do not have to pay off that debt, but that medical debt can still impact your credit score, and we have to have the right credit scores to do the loan.
Okay, good. That's all real good stuff. What's going on with interest rates?
Boy, a lot. The world's a sort of a chaotic place right now, and that's reflected in what we're seeing in the stock market and the bond market, and in turn, interest rates. So let's talk about this on more of a grandiose scale, and then we'll microlize it to today. So we know that over the last 2 years, the Federal Reserve has been purchasing treasury bonds and securities to the tune of about $120 billion per month. That's a lot of money that kept those interest rates in a great territory for us over the last 2 years, really spurred home ownership. Fast forward to today, we know that inflation is something that's very measurable and very much here and in front of us. And so this has caused the Federal Reserve to come in and make some decisions that will impact mortgage rates. The first decision that's on the table is the Federal Reserve plans on increasing the short-term Fed funds, or the prime rate, here in March. When the Federal Reserve does this, it's important to understand that this interest rate is an interest rate that impacts things like car loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, basically short-term consumer debt. It does not necessarily correlate to mortgage debt. What does correlate to mortgage debt is exactly what's happening with bond spending. And the Federal Reserve has announced that they are going to taper off their bond spending to the tune of about $5 billion per month through June of this year, which means that we really expect interest rates to continue climbing. Now, if anybody saw the news in the last couple of days, it advertised that interest rates have dropped. The drop we saw in interest rates is great. It's a great time to take advantage of it. But that drop was unique, and it was caused by the uncertainty of what's happening between Russia and Ukraine right now. Whenever there's uncertainty in our market like that, you see a flight to quality, or essentially sell off in the stock market and a buy into the bond market, which helps interest rates. So the last 2 days, we've seen favorable interest rates, but they're due to unfavorable events in our world.
Okay, good. So how does somebody get a hold of you if they need to talk mortgage?
Thanks, Dennis. My name is Kyle Rush. I'm with Guild Mortgage, and you can reach me at 775-885-6892.
And I'm Dennis Lindsay with Corcoran Global Living. We will see you next month. Thanks,
Thank
Kyle.
you.
Say it's springtime, buddy. It's time to go fishing.
Let's do it.
All right. See you guys next month.